Tzu Chi volunteers visit the flood-affected communities of Chongqing, China to undertake disaster relief assessments. Minsheng Township Council in Jiayi, Taiwan designs an elderly community courses to promote healthy and sustainable lifestyles. Welcome to Diet Headlines. I'm Joyce Ho. Thank you for joining us. Torrential rainfall hit Chongqing, China, causing flooding in residential and farming areas. Tzu Chi volunteers visit Tongnan district to understand the needs of the communities.
In the Shangba community, after the flood receded, what can be seen are muddy roads, and the outdoor farming structures are also covered with mud.
Basically, there is no harvest at all. Even vegetables for the next season cannot be cultivated. So I lost almost 2 harvests out of 3 in a year. It will take at least 1 month to farm again.
The Tongnan district of Chongqing was hit by heavy rains, causing the river to surge. The neighboring Shangba community and Jiayi village were the worst affected. Tzu Chi volunteers walked muddy roads to conduct a disaster survey.
提供什么样的资源、什么样的方式，可以真正帮到老百姓？因为如果没有看，我们只是凭空想象啊，没办法。
必须要现场来看一下。
1楼都是被水淹过。
The first floor was flooded and the opening is full of mud. From the trace left by the water, the depth should be 2 meters or more. All the crops that the villagers depend on for their livelihoods and all structures for the vegetables were completely destroyed.
People used the opportunity afforded by good weather to clean up, getting prepared for the heavy rain to come again. Yet the soaked farmland is no longer green.
I try to clean up parts of my farmland to grow some crops. Anyway, I can't grow many, since my farmland of 40,000 square meters is all filled with rocks.
Our land is very suitable for planting vegetables. Now, after the flooding, a large area cannot be cultivated because the water washed away the soil.
Seeing that all the hard work has been lost, the more the farmers talk, the more helpless they were. They only hope that the weather will become better soon.
Henan Tzu Chi volunteers started home visits in preparation of the annual winter distribution. They were in Cholo Town, Kaifeng district to visit solitary elderlies and a little girl with kidney disease, sending warmth and providing support like they are family.
The little girl, with a weak body and a clear voice, is expressing her gratitude by singing. The little girl is called Ma Ping'an. Her name is filled with her parents' blessings.
I'm so grateful that you have such a good child who's well educated. Hang on, your suffering will pass soon.
Tzu Chi volunteers from Henan started to pay home visits before sending love in winter. They went to Cholo Town in Kaifeng to visit impoverished and sick residents, as well as the solitary elderly. 84-year-old Ma Honglu is hearing impaired and doesn't speak many words. There are few people coming to visit him, so weeds have become overgrown in front of his door. Volunteers helped clear the weeds before leaving.
It rains quite often this year. If Grandpa comes out when it rains, it may be slippery as the weeds are soaked with water.
I saw them entering the villagers' houses. They didn't mind whether it was dirty or messy. They just went in. It gave me the feeling of the returning home. They held the senior's hands, squat down, and chat with him.
Before winter distribution, volunteers first sent love to the villagers.
In Shenyang, China, a single mother Wang He suffered both physically and mentally after losing both of her son and father within 1 year. Tzu Chi volunteers walked into her life to provide support and encouragement.
网和这段时间吧，有病了，身体不大好，然后今天来吧，给整点素馅饺子，身体的能量，恢复会快一些，早日到我们环保站支岗。这是我们环保站站长啊，哈哈，王和。
2 years ago, Wang He's son suffered from leukemia and received Tzu Chi assistance. After 9 months of treatment, he still lost his life. In the same year, when her father passed away, she was sad and the accumulated anxiety manifested into sickness.
You entered Tzu Chi because of the child's fate. You can take care of the children of the world as your own. They are all our children, right? It is the greatest blessing you can send to your child.
You have insufficient blood supply to the brain and lungs, so you'll be dizzy. I personally recommend that you don't worry. Live your life to the fullest, and you can also drink some Chinese herbal soup to replenish your body.
Over the past year, Tzu Chi volunteers have accompanied Wang He. She has begun to participate in home visits, study groups, and all the events.
The pain and sorrow accumulated from the child's illness have been released in the company of Tzu Chi family.
The family-like care makes up for the sorrows of the child's departure and encourages Wang He to say goodbye to the pain and move forward bravely.
The love that Tzu Chi family gives me really warms me. I have been at Tzu Chi for so long, and I really feel more and more happier in my heart.
31-year-old Kamini had been suffering from cataracts for 10 years. It was finally treated last year at an Indonesia Timah Free Clinic. Now that her left eye has fully recovered, Timah volunteer was thrilled to see the positive impact in Kamini's life.
Kamini's eyes are very clear, yet she suffered from cataracts in both of her eyes for 9 years.
Before the operation, I felt desperate about life. I wanted to have a surgery, but I didn't have enough money. I was at loss because I couldn't read my mobile phone. But I can see it now, as I am so grateful.
After nearly a year, Tzu Chi volunteers went to care for her again and saw Kamini's change. Now she is able to help her family by teaching the Korean and can also go to work.
At that time, I only felt that hosting free clinic was my responsibility, so I must finish it. But then I saw the changes in patients' lives. It really made me feel very happy. This is something I cannot buy with money.
Seeing the patients passing through their difficulties, Wendy became touched. She also has a wish in her heart.
At the free clinic before, she only had surgery on her left eye without treating her right eye. I hope she can connect with other charities or hospitals so that her right eye can be cured.
Before leaving, Wendy gave Kamini food and supplies and blessed her to move forward bravely in the days to come.
Thousands of Philippines jeepney drivers have been deprived of business and income due to COVID-19. Starting from August, Tzu Chi volunteers are providing food and daily supplies to jeepney drivers for 3 consecutive months, helping them through difficult times.
Jeepney is a feature of the public transport in the Philippines. Affected by the epidemic, there are fewer tourists, so the business has dropped to 50%. In order to increase the business, some drivers even sleep on their jeepneys.
I have no house. No house. I am sleeping in the jeep. It's very hard to me.
In the past 5 months during the epidemic, jeepney drivers almost have no income. Tzu Chi volunteers conducted a relief distribution to jeepney drivers.
Because many drivers do not have work now, so they often call us during these few weeks and ask when we could start the relief distribution. Today, each driver is going to get 20 kilograms of rice and several other supplies.
For the sake of safety, volunteers specially designed a system to quickly deliver the supplies as long as they scan the QR code on drivers' identity cards.
Use the system to scan the QR code on their identity cards given by us, so that we can quickly confirm the information and identity of each driver.
And this is what we call a midterm program. We mean by midterm is this is a 3-month distribution. Okay, so this is not only for today, it would run consecutively for 3 months. The same kind of distribution to them.
I'm here to assist the jeepney drivers who is currently helping by Tzu Chi Foundation, and we are very thankful for helping our jeepney drivers because right now they have no profit.
Although the quarantine policy in the Philippines has gradually eased, it cannot quickly solve the livelihood problem of the people. The living supplies sent by volunteers can help jeepney drivers to ease their immediate difficulties.
Delaying the onset of debilitating disease among the elderly is an important issue for Taiwanese government due to its aging population. Minxiong Township Council in Jiayi County designed a series of community classes hoping to enhance elderly's physical and psychological health.
Ladies and gentlemen,
dressed up and standing with self-confidence and charm are this group of elderly, proving that internet celebrity is not just the domain of the young. These old people also join the ranks of internet celebrities, especially when it comes to representing agricultural products. In old age, these professional lecturers teach online skills, allowing the elderly to set up fan pages on the internet, which every elderly adult is eager to see.
Yes, I once saw that about 153 people gave me thumbs up or like. This made me quite happy.
The person in charge of taking pictures of Tzu Chi, professor in the Department of Communication at Chongqing University. He's a Tzu Chi volunteer who studied health communication at the University of Kentucky in the United States.
When I took pictures for them, they would tell me, "Wow, teacher, you helped me take pictures so beautifully. My son said you must really care for me." Those kind words actually touched me the most. I want to do more for this community and enter their world and hear the voice in their heart and delay the onset of disability.
These exaggerated funny dance steps follow the dance teacher and promote health through laughter. Jiayi County has the highest rate of aging population for 13 consecutive years. Therefore, in order to care for the elderly, the Minxiong Township Health Center specially applied to the National Health Promotion Agency to establish a dementia and disability program, setting up movement classes for elderly people and a base for long-term care.
Because of aging of our community, we all hope to appeal to the elderly, such as offering free meals at long-term care centers. But here we use exercises to lure him to participate in these events. This is a different type of starting point.
From the perspective of health communication, this course must be grounded or popular locally. This means needs to meet the needs of our elders so they can use these courses to creative new learning.
What this means is that stereotypes need to be flipped, bringing elderly grandparents in the countryside closer to us. Now they're quite fashionable and have learned nail painting, singing pop songs, and even some have been given the task of promoting health education. However, at the start of such courses, many elderly people were too shy to attend and simply kept watching.
Our attraction is giving a person a sense of accomplishment and hope in life because they come here. They can feel healthy and happy. I think this appeal does not need to be promoted by us, and everyone will take the initiative to participate.
At home, I will just think about bad things like how my husband passed away, which will make me feel so sad and lonely.
After the nurses and volunteers were invited to join these courses one by one, they gradually gained the trust of the elders in the community, which not only helped people get out of the pain of losing their husbands, but also people's mentality became younger and depression was cured without medicine.
I just continue to take antidepressant medicines and my body will break down. Then I come here to exercise without taking medicine, and I'm very happy and I made many friends.
This course was started because of a subsidy program that was once suspended because of the end of the program, and on the coronavirus epidemic. However, the elders hope to continue the class, so the health clinic cooperated with Chongqing University to continue to take care of more than 50 elders.
Our government likes the number of people and the number of classes, but I think this is deceptive. We should really try to learn more about them and walk into their lives and listen to what they say. We should ask why they are happy and why they choose to stay here.
In a word, the blind spot is clear. After all, the current government uses cigarette taxes to fund social welfare policy. As the aging population and the degree of care have risen sharply, it is difficult to balance these financial resources and costs.
We need to know whether the source of financial resources is fair and whether it can grow or is sustainable, and is it just to different generations.
To meet the needs of the aging population, which method can allow the elderly to age beautifully without costing a lot of money? In our next episode, we'll tell you how community-based recycling stations can become an outpost to prevent aging and other disabilities.
Pingdong Xingyuan Recycling Station has been in operation for 20 years. Husband and wife Zhou Deming and Lin Huiling are among the regular recycling sorting team. They do not detest the smell of grease but find happiness through volunteering.
Carrying big bags and small bags, the motorcycle, along with a small trailer, accompanies Zhou Deming on his journey to the recycling station. After retiring, Zhou Deming fully commits to recycling. He doesn't have desires for materials and is very happy doing recycling.
When I retired, I told my wife I'm not finding another job to make money. I want to happily volunteer. Do not tell me about making money because I have no worries as a volunteer here. I don't have to worry about doing this or doing that.
The recyclables piles up every day. The couple, Zhou Deming and Lin Huiling, shows up the earliest and leaves the latest.
Everyone can smell the bad smells, not just me. The smells of sweat is pretty much the same, so I'm fine with it.
After finishing recycling, volunteer Lin Huiling has another mission. Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Xu has been absent from recycling station for 8 days. Volunteers felt very unsettled and scheduled a body check for him after the visit. It was found that since Mr. Xu had heavy drinking habits in his youth, he now suffers from liver cancer. He stays at home during lunchtime. Volunteers bring food to him while understanding his situation.
I often fall and get dizzy. I do not dare to go out.
He can't do recycling with us now, so he stays at home to do so.
After the visit, the couple carries recyclables back to the recycling station. They do not desire a luxurious house or a comfortable life. Together, they carry on the duties of protecting our environment.
An elderly in Kaohsiung, Linxia, had been in depression due to the loss of his wife for an entire year. Only until volunteers came to visit and provide emotional support when he saw the possibility of a new lifestyle as a happy volunteer.
This group of elders have formed a circle. What are they doing? This is a board game that lets everyone get involved. These elders gathered from all districts of Kaohsiung to do things together.
I hope they'll go out and make friends, or maybe you can meet new friends like this.
This volunteer was busy at the scene, serving people with limited mobility. 71-year-old Lin Xia was also a solitary elder looked after by others some 3 years ago.
I used to work with machines for almost 40 years. How can I have a social life? Almost no one talked to me for a year. I haven't laughed for a year, so how do I know how to laugh?
It turns out that after he retired, he took care of his sick wife for a year. After the death of his wife, he lost the focus of life and kept him from going out until a social worker knocked on the door.
If you're in a bad mood, you'll be bored at home. Sometimes when volunteers go, they'll wait a long time outside before he will finally come.
Seeing the happy faces of the volunteers, he decided to become a volunteer. He started by being a helper, and no one could even beat him at dancing.
On the surface, it's doing things for other people, but in fact, it's all for yourself. You will be healthy if you move.
He's not hiding at home by himself, waiting for someone to come and chat with him. He's coming out right now.
Opening his heart to become a volunteer, now even if he wears a mask, one can still see a smile in his eyes.
In an auspicious 7th lunar month, 4 Jingsibo Dharma Masters brought Master Cheng his blessings from Hualien to Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital's patients and families. Together with the medical staff, Dharma Masters invited the visitors to join the ranks of vegetarians.
The 7th month of the lunar calendar is commonly known as the Ghost Month. Many people think that to be hospitalized and undergo surgery are unlucky in this month. But for Buddhism, this month is a special month. Jingsibo Dharma Masters and medical staff were divided into 4 teams to visit the world to bring patients blessings and peace.
When the heart is settled, we hand the sickness to the hospital and give your heart to the Bodhisattva. We should pray religiously.
During the visit, the benefits of being vegetarian were also shared.
I'll prescribe a magic formula for you first. That is to be a vegetarian. Many patients saw Dharma Masters. On one hand, they were very moved. On the other hand, at that moment, I think they all promised to be vegetarian together. It just so happens that our hospital only serves vegetarian food, so I believe this is a good start.
One of the cancer patients, Mrs. Du, shared her experience of doing target therapy. She said that when she suffered from cancer 11 years ago, she started to adopt a vegetarian diet, and now she has been in good health. Many relatives and friends did not know that she was seriously ill.
I do not have any side effects after treatment. Because I have heard people say that my body will ache and there will be vomiting, but I don't have any and I sleep well.
Protecting our environment and adopting vegetarian diet helps keep away our belly to be a graveyard for all living beings. The auspicious month reminds everyone to respect life in order to stay away from disasters.
A fire broke out from an auto repair shop in Ambon New Village in Selangor, Malaysia, damaging the neighboring houses. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers immediately visited the affected families and provided much-needed support.
The raging fire burned in the night, starting at an auto repair shop in Malaysia in the middle of the night. After the fire was reported, the fire department rushed out to respond to the disaster.
The motorcycles were all burned. My dad tried to fight the fire, but he just couldn't. He escaped from the fire, but he burned his hands and feet, and he's in a hospital now.
After the fire, everything here is like ruins. The houses on each side were affected by the fire. Now many are left without a home, as they can only find temporary housing in relatives' homes.
My jewelry and money are gone. I didn't take anything. When the firefighters came, I wanted to go inside, but they wouldn't let me. Everyone saw that everything I had is gone, as even those shoes were given to me by other people.
Looking back on the fateful fire, as many still had lingering fears, Tzu Chi volunteers sent care and condolence cash.
We empathize with you. We represent the City Foundation and our Master Zheng Yan to give you this condolence money.
Tzu Chi volunteers offered condolence cash with both hands and looked forward to the power of love to accompany the residents to rebuild their homes as soon as possible.
90-year-old Lin Amei, receiving palliative care for terminal gastric cancer at Taiwan Tzu Chi Hospital, fulfills her dream of hosting a solo art exhibition with the help of the medical team. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.